And now a complete change of mood from the sober and thoughtful to the downright depressing. Yes, it's your very own, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, my dear.
Now, what surprise have you for us in your ganderbag this week?
It is a 17th century ditty that tells of an apprentice loomer whose love goes awry in a cornfield, and he feels it's going against the grain. So he sings of his brief romance in a manner both reflective and lugubrious.
Oh, really?
Yes, it goes after this fashion, gaily, but with a hint of verdigris. Down yonder green valley I first met sweet Sally. When twilight was falling we both held our tryst. Mid groves that were gloomy she vowed her love to me. But it was so light there we had to play whist. Amid the bright barley we stopped for a parley. While oot owls were calling we plighted our grunge. Above us the stars shone, my grommets got caught on a rambling rose bush and nadgered my man. Now with sorrow, deep sorrow, my wogglers are laden. For Sally's departed, she married for wealth. Although I still wander in yonder green valley, it's not so much fun when you wordle yourself.
Of course, there have been many folk songs written about the law, and here now to sing one is that doyen of folk singers, a man who has few peers, except through the window of the nurse's hostel in the Bullthorn Road. Your very own rambling Syd Rumpo.
Well, hello, me dearie, for I dangle my grummet till my billy boils.
Yeah, well, I'll have a cup if it's no trouble. Now, what song are you going to give us now?
It's something I picked up down under. 'Tis an Australian outlaws song and tells of a squatter in the outback.
Ah, I see. Primitive plumbing.
So some say.
Do some.
Yeah. Anyway, this swagman is in the bush camping by a billabong, and the billabong reports him to the police. And up come the troopers. 1, 2, 4, and...
1, 2, 4.
It was 3's day off.
Aye.
So anyway, they catch him having a jumbuck in his tucker bag.
Well, it's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, isn't it?
Precisely. So then he sings this haunting lament. Once long ago in the shade of a goolie bush, toasting his blood by the old faggot's glee, rested a gander man, a nobbling of his woggle iron, and stuffing a sheep in the old mill stream. And up come the troopers and hung him by the billabong. They twisted his woggle irons 1, 2, and 3. Now his ghost sits and moans as it grunges in his gander can. Old come a woggling his jumbuck with me.
Yet again, we are underprivileged to have with us that doyen of folk singers, rambling Syd Rumpo.
And dang me down a doodle-o. And the past week I've been rambling and roving amid the bosky retreats and pastoral solitude of the cool orangutan nightclub, where I'm currently appearing now, pulling down $3,000 a week with my simple homespun rubbish, Just and I'll pass it on away,
Now, what are you going to sing for us this week?
My song tells of a fabled beast who is said to have ravaged the West Country in the distant past, and the origins of the song go back into the mists of antiquity before the talking pictures come to Polperro. It's called the Ballad of the Loom Bogle's Boom, and goes after this fashion, jauntily but with a hint of animosity. Oh, list while I tell you of Loom Bogle's boom, which o'er the West Country caused doubt and great gloom. It wordled the ladies and nadgered the men. Then it galloped right back to its covert again. Tourelay, tourelay, singing tourelay, tourelay, tourelay. Oh, which man will rid us of this awful scourge? The mayor of Polperro did plaintively urge. Then up stood a bogler who suitably greased, said, "I, Rufus Lackwind, will nadger this beast." Tourelay, tourelay, singing tourelay, tourelay, tourelay. Bold Rufus set out for this spot on the heath, where Loom Bogle's boom it did dwell underneath. He challenged the creature to a man-to-man duel, but the boom nadgered Rufus, the stupid old fool. Tourelay, tourelay, singing tourelay, tourelay, tourelay. So if any should venture out Exeter way, beware for the ravening beast still holds sway. Look out for strange creatures should you meet your doom. It's pretty well sure to be Loom Bogle's boom. Tourelay, tourelay, 'cause it's pretty well sure to be Loom Bogle's boom.
Before the days of newspapers, the events of the day were retailed by the street ballad singers. And here to sing one such 18th century ditty, the Ballad of the Woggler's Moolie, is rambling Syd Rumpo. Now, what exactly is a Woggler's Moolie?
Well, a moolie is a sort of smoked cuttlefish of the whelk family, or brother-in-law, you might say.
Yes.
And they were considered a great delicacy in those days. And, of course, they had to be woggled before you could eat them.
Yes, of course. Nowadays you can get them frozen and pre-woggled, but they don't taste the same, do they?
No. Now, this is a sad story that first appeared in 1738 on a broadsheet, and I've set it to a tune of that time, which I found in my ganderbag covered in loom powder and fish paste.
Fish paste. Yes, what exactly is loom powder?
If I started explaining that, we'd be here all night. Now, so to the song. Joe, he was a young court wangler, munging greebles he did go, and he loved a bogler's daughter by the name of Chiswick Flo. Vain she was, and like a grusset, though her gander parts were fine. But she sneered at his court wangle as it hung upon the line. So he stole a woggler's moolie for to make a wedding ring. But the Bow Street runners caught him, and the judge said he will swing. Oh, they hung him by the postern, nailed his moolie to the fence, for to warn all young court wanglers that it was a grave offence. There's a moral to this story, though your court wangle be poor, Keep your hands off others' moolies, for it is against the law.
We are heartily delighted to welcome that doyen of folk singers, Rambling Syd Rumpo. Good evening, Rambling Syd.
Hello, me dearie-o. For my heart is heavy and my cord bangle is full sore.
Now, what are you going to sing for us this week?
She's an eerie song, so spine-chilling that it'll make the bogles on your posset stand on end.
Good.
It's the story of a bold highwayman called the Black Grunger of Hounslow. And tells of his exploits. And it goes after this fashion. Oh, list while I sing of a highwayman bold. His feats were remarkable, so we are told. He'd wordle the ladies and scrope all the men. Then he'd straddle his nadger and ride off again. Touralay, touralay, singing fiddle me grommets and scrumple me flute. They caught him and hung him from old Tyburn tree, but ere the note screevelled his mooly, quoth he, if I had my time to live over again, I'd scrope all the ladies and wordle the men. Touralay, touralay, singing fiddle me grommets and scrumple me flute.
There are a great many songs on the subject of travel, and here to render one unconscious, I give you Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Oh, hello, me dearie. My ditty today tells of a weary traveller who's rested his splod in an alien place, and though he's often pitched his cord wangle in strange parts, his memory takes him back on wings of song to the bosky turve where he was first nadgered.
And I'd like to see our critics find a double meaning in that. Or any meaning at all. Sing on, blithe Rumpo, bird, thou never words. Oh, I don't know, though.
And as his thoughts turn homeward, he sings after this fashion. I've nadgered my lummox round the hemisphere. I've grosseted my artifacts far and near. But through the years my love has growed for the bogler's lass in the Balls Pond Road. Oh, how I missed its fragrance sweet, the loomers grunging in the street. Fain would I once more grope my scrode with Spotty Lil in the Balls Pond Road. Oft have I wordled a comely lass from John O'Groats to Boston, Mass. But though I've woggled my heart's bestowed on the bogler's lass in the Balls Pond Road, oh, how I miss her moolies fine. Fain would I make her grummets mine. My path is bent, my legs are bowed, for Spotty Lil in the Balls Pond Road.
And we stay in the open air, which is just as well when you consider that our next guest is Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, hello. Hello, my dearie-os, and ahoy the new, for with my trussock in my hand, and a faraway gleam in me kilt, I'm aware this bricht moonlich nicht the new.
Shouldn't worry too much. I believe it can be cured these days.
I am merely being Scottish, as the song that I'm about to sing is a maudlin Scottish air and is extremely popular on Rabbi Burns' night in Samoa.
Do they celebrate Burns' night in Samoa?
No rabbis. That's one of the reasons for the continuing popularity of the song. They've never heard it, you see.
Would that I was in Samoa.
Oh, that's very encouraging of you. Well, it goes after this fashion, brightly but lugubriously. By yon bonny grouse and by yon bonny thrums, where the moolies grout in the trellis, where me and my loomers were ever prone to spawn, on the bonny, bonny nerds of Benevis. Oh, you tap your grossocks and I'll tack me fossocks. We'll sprout our cordwangles together. For me and my bogles will never be the same, 'cause I've grunged all me munge in the head. Was there that we whirled in yon shady glen, on the steep turfs of Ben Badger, where the deep purple hue completely hid the view, and the gorse gave us cramp in the nadger. Oh, you tack your grunger, and I'll tack me plunger. We'll wobble our lummocks together, but your grunge starts to wilt when you're wearing Willie's kilt, and you're up to your spong in the heather.
Now, what's the reverse of a bon bouche? Because that's what we've got now as I introduce Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie-o.
Now then, what have you found in your ganderbag for us this week?
Well, I was leafing through a book of 18th century cheese sandwiches, and I come across an old cordwangler's ditty. Now, there's a lot of talk about cordwangling these days, but very few people know what it actually is, and those that practice it don't like to talk about it.
I believe in the old days an apprentice was bound to a cordwangler for several years.
Yeah, but they stamped it out now because it ruined the circulation. Anyway, the song tells of a cordwangler who gives his lady love several things to prove his devotion, and goes after this fashion. I gave my love a bogle that had no spring. I gave my love a moolie that didn't ring. I gave my love a grunger that had no spout. I gave my love a nadger without trying. How can there be a bogle that has no spring? How can there be a moolie that doesn't ring? How can there be a grunger without a spout? How can you give a nadger without trying? A bogle, when it's wangled, it has no spring. A moolie, when it's mangled, it doesn't ring. A grunger, when it's broken, it has no spout. Your nadger, when it's roasted, is most tried.
It's time again to meet folk singer Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Well, hello, me dearie-o. Come wallow tit grossop and ring me down derry, for the bee is on the clover and the death watch beetle is in the old man's bogwort.
Well, hadn't you better tell him?
Now, you'll find out soon enough. Stupid old nip.
And what have you got in your ganderbag for us this week?
She's an old Cornish drinking song, and is sung on Goose Fettle Eve by the itinerant constables at they parts when all the jolly motorists come staggering out of the pub and drive off into the police cordon. Its alternative title is Green is the Colour of My True Love's Breathalyzer, and it goes after this fashion, sprightly and furtively. There is an adger in the town, where I can put my moolies down, put them down under my spunk for a very modest fee, and plight my artifacts to thee. Fare thee well, for I must nurdle, do not let your buttocks curdle, for I know that you must whirtle in the old mill stream. Adieu, adieu, kind friends, adieu, adieu, adieu. I can no longer work it through. I'll dip my gropes in the Nurka's looming trop, and wait till my bogling fort drops off. Woo!
Again, we have with us that doyen of folk singers, rambling Syd Rumpo. Now, hello, Mr. Rumpo, and where have your wanderings taken you this week?
Over hill, over dale, through fields and byres, along the Watford bypass. I reach me down a doodle-o, diddle-o, and they don't chirrup, chirrup. I'm just being ethnic again.
Right.
Well, me dearie-o, I've been a-rummaging through my rucksack, and just under me second best pair of rucks, I found a half-forgotten old folk song. That is, I've forgotten half of it, but I'll sing you the rest. It's a Cornish lummock waggler's song, which is sung in the village of Tinpadget every lummock waggling time, which, of course, is the time of the vernal equinox after the pubs have shut. The young men of Tinpadget don their colourful lummock breeches and go waggling up the high street, knocking on doors, a-singing, I am the merry lummock waggler, I ply thee a forfeit, o. Be your daughter coming out a woggle picking. To which the lady of the house traditionally replies, sling your hook, O waggler man, or else I'll call the police, o.
Yes, sounds fascinating,
Aye. And then the waggler men dance about waggling their lummocks and singing this refrain. Oh, who'll come a-waggling this fine night when the moon is shining bright, oh, for the lummocks be ripening on the russet bough, and we're in for a fine, fine night, oh, with a riddle-o, rattle-o, ho-hey-ha, and a twiddle-patch and nettle-rash-day-ho.
Last year, the readers of the Melody Express voted our next guest, rambling Syd Rumpo, the man most likely to. Since then, he has frequently. But he's managed to repair it with sticky tape and is with us again tonight. Good evening, rambling Syd.
Oh, hello, me dearie-o, for it's for the open road where the wind blows free, and I've plighted me lummock to a tall pine tree.
Well, it's up to you, of course, but look out for the woodpeckers. Now, what are you going to sing for us this week?
Well, I've been having a dip in me ganderbag, and I've come up with a traditional Cornish cider bottler's song, which they sing in lieu and po. They sing it whilst they're bottling their scrumpy. The head butler, or great nadger, squats on his groat stool, and the apprentice butlers, or bogle twisters, so called because it is their function to twist their bogles, stand round in a circle, passing his bottle from hand to hand. Then one of them secretes it, and the great nadger, feigning dismay, offers them the traditional groat if they'll give him his bottle back, but they say him nay. And so he offers them a fine plucked grummet, and then they let him have it.
And you can't blame them, really, can you?
Now, you see, then they all link arms and dance about, singing the Cornish scrumpy dance, which goes as follows. Oh, who'll come a nadger in this fine night with a fall-roll rumple me boodle-o, with your splee a-glowing in the bright moonlight, with a fall-doll daffy up me doodle-o. Hey down, dumpy, oh, 16 pints of scrumpy, oh, drink it up, boys, with a 1 and 2. Hey down, derry down, sink it down, drink it down, once round the maypole and it's off to loo.
Well, not surprisingly, the chief attraction of the seaside is the sea, and there have been many songs about it. And here to sing one is your very own, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie-o, for I'll hoist up me artifacts and keel haul me dando.
Yes, it's a good trick if you can do it, isn't it?
The song I'm going to sing tells of a sailor lad who nurked his clipper all over the 7 seas.
Nurked?
Yes, nurked. What's the matter? You got cloth wogglers? Nurked. 'Tis a word used by sailors when they're thinking of something else. But it's gone now with the passing of the windjammer, or baked jam roll, as it's called. And it goes after this fashion, boldly and vigorously. What shall we do with a drunken nurker? What shall we do with a drunken nurker? What shall we do with a drunken nurker? He's bending his cord wangle. Hit him in the nadgers with a bosun. Slap him on the grommet with a wrought iron lunger. Cuff him in the moolies with a captain's brother. Till his bogles dangle. Heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises, heave-ho, and up she rises. Oh, he's broken his cord wang.
Here now to offend against reason is rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, my dearie-os. I'm going to sing you a song of that great huntsman, Jim Pubes, who lived many years ago. And, thank you. And 'tis said there was no finer sight in Cumberland than to see old Jim straddling his nadger behind the parsonage, and then looming his turves before setting off in pursuit of the quarry. And this song tells his story and goes after this fashion. Do you ken Jim Pubes with his flog so bright as he traddles his nadger in the bright moonlight? He whirls his posset all through the night, but he can't turn it off in the morning. Oh, the sound of his groat threw me from my bed as he blew up his moolie fit to waken the dead. Oh, the noise of his grunge nearly blew off me head and removed all the paint from the awning. Do you ken Jim Pubes? Now his blood's turned white and his nadger's been struck with an awful blight, and he can't find his posset without a light, and he can't turn it on in the morning. Oh, his poor old groat, it has sprung a leak, and the sound of his moolie's reduced to a squeak. Though he blows and he blows till he's blue in the eek, we'll no more hear him grunge in the morning.
And now, effulgent as ever, the folk singer that most housewives can tell from Donovan, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, my dearie-os. Fine would I stand here swapping possets till the spotted turve sinks beyond yonder ivy-covered corbangle, but I must be wandering on.
Well, don't stop on our account.
Nor will I, except to burst forth with my latest air, which is a sad lament describing what a young swain espies from his vantage point adjacent to his lady's bearer. It goes in this fashion, slowly but with a hint of garlic. Early one morning, just as the blood was rising, I heard a maiden screaming in the valley below. Oh, don't you ogle me, oh, never bogle me. How could you use your cord wangle so? Gay are my grummets and fresh are my artifacts. I burnished all my woggling irons and waxed them till they glow. Oh, don't you nurdle me, oh, never wordle me. How could you use your cord wangle so? Remember the turfs that you bound to your gander parts. Remember the groats that you tied around your grunge. Oh, don't you riddle me, oh, never griddle me. How could you knirk your cord wangle so?
Now, Ball's Pond Road's own poet laureate, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie.
And what have you for us in your ganderbag this week?
It's a lyrical and devious ditty that's sung throughout Lammasttide by the dwindling band of Essex graunchers as they court their swains.
Oh, yes.
A swain, you know, is a cross between a snake and a pig. Oh, horrible, really, as ugly as sin they are, but you do get marvellous streaky bacon. Lovely, really lovely. I can see that got you going. Yeah. Anyway, my ditty goes after this fashion, warmly and trippingly. There was a jolly grunger man who lived in Lowestoft. He nurked his spong from morn till eve and developed a nasty cough. He grounched and wordled from morn till eve, and this was ere he shout, oh, I cannot woggle my artifacts while the constable's about. And his colleague replies after this fashion. But why, my jolly grandeur man from famous Lowestoft, why should you fear the constable to whom your at you've doffed? For you can woggle your artifacts and ask no reason why. Oh, but grunge as quietly as you can till the constables pass by.
Time again to meet folk singer rambling Syd Rumpo.
Ah, now, me dearie-o, and I'll dangle down me dilly-o and haul away me dando.
Yes, by all means, be my guest.
Oh, no, I was merely being picturesque, as is my wont.
Oh, won't you?
No, I'm trying to give it up.
Oh.
Very nasty habit, and besides, it makes such a deafening noise.
Yes. Well, now, if I may ask, what are you going to sing for us this week?
It's a song sung in the small Cotswold village of Linctus Peveril, come ganderboggling time, which coincides with the spring equinox and the first nicking of the lead off the church roof.
Thank you.
At its end, the young men of the village choose one of their number who is to be the gander man. This is done by the time-honoured practice of picking on the smallest one and hitting him until he agrees. And they deck him in feathers and marmalade, and placing in his hand the truling stick, and hanging round his neck the dingling iron, which dingles his grusset if he's not careful. He is sent forth with the traditional phrase, go on, get out of it. And so he goes forth with a gander in one hand and a goose in the other. And then he knocks at the door of the young maiden of his choice and sings, would you like a gander, or would you like a gander? Would you like a gander? Yes, my lissom young lass, to which she generally says, no, I would not like a gander. So he gives her the goose. And he capers off down the street, boggling his gander above his head. And as he goes, he sings this song, which goes as follows. Oh, roodle-o, we dandle-o, roodle-o-day. Oh, who will boggle me gander when I am far away? Oh, who will shrug me glossop to help the gander man? But if your glossop's been shrugged, my love, well, do the best you can. Oh.
Hello, it's Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Oh, hello, me dearie. Very nice to see you. Who will spare a penny for a wandering carol singer, for there's rhyme on me cordwangle and a sprig of holly at me grusset.
Well, I'll get the pliers. So, good Rumpo, wouldst thou singst for the company?
Fine would I, only I'm under exclusive contract to Edison Bell. Still, seeing as how it's you, I'll burst forth with my air as follows. It is called Good King Boroslav, and it goes after this fashion. Good King Boroslav looked out on the night of grunges, saw them whirling round about, armed with rubber plungers. Brightly shone their artifacts, red their possets glowing. He knew not from whence they came, but he knew where they were going. Out he went into the snow, loud his lummocks ringing, with his moolies all aglow and his trousers clinging. Back he brought those grungers bold, stood them by the fire dogs, saved them from the bitter cold by thawing out their Yule logs. Those who would a grunger be, take heed of this warning, for there is no guarantee you will live till morning if you wordle in the snow in a spot you've chosen. Dawn's first light is going to show your woggling irons opera.
Now a man whose work has been spread over many fields. It's double yield Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, my dearios, and since we last met, I've been where few men have been, and seen what few men have seen, and got off with a £5 fine. And my air this week tells something of my peregrinations. It goes jauntily, but painfully. As I was going to Goosenadger's Fair, singing, loomers on me posset, I met a maiden trundling a bear, falderie. Her bogles were blue, they jangled about, till the grunge on my cordwangle nearly fell out. Singing, Nadger Julie Felix, singing, Riddle Simon Lee. Kind sir, pray woggle my gimp if you can, singing, loomers on me posset, for you I can see are a free scroping man. Falderie, so I woggled her gimp till her welkin rang, and as I woggled this tune I sang. Why, it's a good trick if you can do it. Airy, fairy, Peter, Paul and Mary, airy, fairy, Wordle, Simon Lee.
Time once again to welcome that picturesque, homespun, folksy twit, Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hi, Mary Down, crumple diddle-I-do, and other colourful affectations. Well, me dearie-o, in the past week I've been frolicking around, listening to the simple country folk warbling their colourful ditties, and cleaning them up for getting them past the censor-o. Sure, Chirrup, chirrup, poor Tom's gone away, oh.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, what are you going to sing for us this week, Rambling Syd?
'Tis a Grummet Tinker song from the bogs of old Ireland. And it's sung by the itinerant peddlers of thy parts as they lurk in the peat bogs, tinkering their grummets.
Well, I suppose they don't have television.
'Tis a courting song sung by a young tinker to his lighted love as he plights his troth. He sings to her, "If you will give me all your love, then I shall give to thee jewels and perfumes and a ribbon for your hair and an old pair of boots what belong to my granny. They'll need resoling, but they'll do your treat for getting in the cold." But as he goes, he sings this song. Sing Turley for the tinker's life from Cork to old Tralee-o. For I will give thee pots and pans if you'll come a tinkering with me, ho. We're the tumble down tick and a rooney o'day, sing trossop, a fall-dear-old Ido, and I'll treadle my crumple for many a day if I don't get a stitch in my side-o. Side-o, side-o, if I don't get a stitch in me side-o.
Here again is that doyen of folk singers whose homespun tunes have made him one of the highest paid entertainers in the country, Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie, and shall my dangle life fallow till old Tom goes a sickly now?
Well, I've got no comment to make at this time. But where have your peregrinations taken you lately?
Why, since I last been here, I've been a-rambling and a-wandering and a-gypsying up and down the country, a-driving of my Continental Bentley, dilly-daffy down my spong.
Beg your pardon?
I'm just being picturesque.
Oh, good.
Just an affectation, a doodle-o, a rough-a-duff, foldy-riddle-I-ho-do, chirrup.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes. Now, I'm going to sing you a sad sea shanty sung by the herring fishermen of Hampstead Garden suburb. Yes, it's a plaintive lament on account of Hampstead Garden suburb be landlocked, amongst other things. The story it tells of a poor fisherman what comes home one night with an empty net, and his wife says to him, "What have you caught me, Billy-o? What have you caught me, darling Willie?" To which he answers, "Nary a one, me Susie-o, but I got a tin of sardines from the supermarket at Camden Town." And then he sings,
"Oh, heave away, me heart is all away, oh, pull me dando with a yo and a ha. With a hey down, daddy down, and me wind blows free."
When I say, yuck, what immediately comes into your mind? Quite right, it's Rambling Syd Rumpo.
"Oh, hello, me dearie-o, for I'll crummock down me borbies wi' a gnarly in me hand until I smell the tangle of the Isles."
Yes. What are you gonna sing for us this week?
It is a Highland lament sung by the Highland turf croppers as they crop their turves.
Yeah, very painful, I should think.
Aye, precisely. And it tells of a hopeless love and goes after this fashion. Ye nergs and bogles of bonny Glen Postule, oft have I grebbled amongst your trees, and wordled my lassie among your nettles, unsworn my devotion, and stung both my knees. Oh, we bogled and grundled, and grundled and bogled. I grottled my muckles for bonny wee June. And now she's ran off with a plumber from Sidcup. So I lurk in the forest and wordle alone.
And now, the voice that runs through Tara's halls, or at least the scullery, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Oh, hello, my dearie. Thank you very much indeed. Well, sing Dilly Down, my Daffy, and Semolina on my cup.
Yes. And how ethnic can you get without being arrested for it? Now, yes, what have you got in your ganderbag for us this week?
Art is a paean of praise to the ladies, dolly chicks and old boilers alike. And it goes in this manner, thank you. Grandly, but with a lot of nudging. Here's to the maiden who woggles her nodes. Here's to the widow's cord wangle. Here's to the lass with extravagant scrodes, set at a curious angle. Let the grunge flow, let yourself go, and quaff up your posset at ninepence a throw. Here's to the charmer whose grummets we prize. Here's to the maid who has none, sir. Here's to the girl of extraordinary size, who bogles her moolies for fun. Let the grunt flow, let yourself go, and quaff up your posset at ninepence a throw. Here's to the maiden who wordles to please, and the maid with magnificent loomers. Here's to the girl with provocative knees, who's subject to all kinds of rumours. Let the grunt flow, let yourself go, and quaff up your posset at ninepence a throw.
Songs have been written about love from time immemorial, and if music be the food of love, here now is the syrup of figs. Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie, for green grows the grunge on my lady's posset. For she's off with the raggle-taggle window cleaner,
Now, what have you for us in your gander bag this week?
'Tis a Lummoxshire air sung by the old spume pickers of thy parts as they sit in the chimney corner scroping their cord wangles. And so to the song. When I was a young man, I nadgered on my splod, as I nurked at the waggler's trade, when suddenly I thought, while trussing up my groats, I'd wordle with a fair young maid. We wordled through the summertime until the winter came, and the only thing that I ever did wrong was to tell her my foggy name. Now I'm married and I've put away my splod, and my son's at the waggler's trade. Though I still think, as I'm trussing up my groats, of wordling with a fair young maid. I'd wordle her in the winter time. I'd wordle her for dear life. But the only thing that I'd have to do is to keep it from the foggy, foggy wife.
Time again to meet folk singer Rambling Syd Rumpo. Well, Maderio, and how's your cord wangle this week?
Nadgered.
Oh, dear, then you won't be able to scrope your waggling on for us.
There's no problem. I grunged it at the all-night bogle wash in Paddington.
Yes. And listeners, if you think that's a lot of rubbish, remember you get the sort of show you deserve. Now, what are you going to sing for us this week?
'Tis a master fumbler's travelling air, and tells of a fair young maid from Hackney Wick, for whom he'd gladly wordle his stunging troon, and it goes after this fashion. In Hackney Wick there lives a lass whose grommets would I woggle. Her gander parts none could surpass, and her paws it makes me boggle. Her mool is fine, her grunge divine, the way her loomers tick. I'd give up work for one quick nurk. I won't go into a long explanation of the precise meaning of the word nurk, as it would weary you. Sweet lass of Hackney Wick, sweet lass of Hackney Wick, sweet lass of Hackney Wick, I'd give a groat for one quick scrote. Sweet lass of Hackney Wick.
Here again is that doyen of folk singers, Rambling Syd Rumpo. What are you going to burst forth with this week?
'Tis a paean of praise to my grandfather's grunge. They don't make 'em like that anymore. Oh, you can't get the drippets. But be that as it may, the song goes after this fashion, limply but cunningly. My grandfather's grunge was too large for the house, so he left it outside by the door. It was almost as big as the old fool itself, and it weighed half 100 weight more. He could whirl it around with a mighty booming sound, while my granny stood by in surprise. But he lost grip, dented the tip, and it caused his untimely demise. Now he's left it to me, and it's plain for to see I'm the pride and the joy of the Broads. Every Michaelmas day it is there on display, and it's already won several awards. All the summer I munge as I whirl that mighty grunge, and my granny regards me with pride. But I stop short, never to grunge again, when it's cold outside.
Now, when I say the name Rambling Syd Rumpo, what does it evoke? Well, unfortunately, it always seems to evoke Rambling Syd Rumpo. Here he is.
Allow me, dearie-o, for I'll haul away me nadger till the groat bender comes out.
Yes, try and hold out till then. Now, what are you going to sing for us this week?
While I've been dipping in me ganderbag to find you a gladsome ditty, and I've come up with a very tender and furtive madrigal, which has been passed down from father to son until the handle dropped off. It's an old Sussex courting song, and tells a story of a young swain who stands beneath his loved one's bearer. He's a very small swain, but then she on the other hand has got a very low bearer. It's the prevailing winds. Anyway, he stands there in the full moonlight, a-plighting his troth, And it's best to plight it where you can see it. Otherwise, you're liable to make a dog's breakfast of the old rigmarole. So there he is, plighting his troth.
I've often wondered, what is a troth?
That's a small furry creature with fins. Soft cross between a trout and a sloth.
A curious match.
Eh?
A curious match.
Yes, I often wonder what they saw in each other in the first place. So anyway, this lover is under this tree singing to his lighter love. And he tells her of his love as follows. Will you still love me, Mary, oh, when my gussets be bended low? When my orbs grow dim and my splod grows white, and my cordwangle makes an ugly sight, and my gussets be bended low, my gussets be bended low. And she sings back to him. You ask me if I love you, oh, though your gussets be bended low, though your orbs are dim and your splod be white, and your cordwangle makes an ugly sight. If I feel the way that I do tonight, my answer will still be no.
Today we are delighted, well, perhaps delighted is an understatement, we're horrified to welcome back that doyen of folk singers, rambling Syd Rumpo.
Follow me, dearie-o, for I'll wordle me scroop till the grusset man comes.
Yes, yes, you do that, yes. But where have you been rambling lately?
Well, after I got my last golden disco, I thought I had to throw off the trammels of urban civilization and get back to the essential rudiments, the simple necessities.
Well, like what?
This bird I got in Saint-Tropez. I have been rummaging in my ganderbag for a ditty with which to gladden your old ear-hole, and I'm going to sing you a very picturesque and amusing old country song. It tells the story of an orangutan who would a-wooing go. Now, off he goes in his best top hat, singing, Dingle me dandle, follow me leader, Rumpelstiltskin, hey-ho, gammon and spinach.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
No, but you must admit it's not bad for an orangutan. And then he comes to old Mrs. Owl's door, and he says to her, Oh, Mrs. Owl, I would fain take you for my wife. Only Mrs. Owl don't want to know him. Not surprising, really. I mean, an orangutan in a top hat is not much of a bargain. Yes, so he runs away to sea in a sieve. And, of course, he drowns. But as he goes down for the third time, he sings, Now all you gay bachelors, listen to me. Dingle, dangle, gammon and spinny. Never get wet if you want to stay free. With a dingle, dangle, riddle me posset. I'll wallow me gammon and rattle me splee. Splee. Oh, I think I've rattled it.
Well, now, food and drink have long been the subject of songs, and here to sing an 18th century drinking song is Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, dearie-o. I thank you very much indeed. Well, come, let us raise our moolies and thank you very much. and clink our grummets in good fellowship.
Yes. Now, what is the song you're going to lacerate our sensibilities with this week?
Well, 'tis a pewter waggler's bangling song.
Oh, good.
Yes, after our day in the grunge foundry, hammering their artifacts, the jolly grunge men repair to the local hostelry or fumble shop and charge their thunder jugs with the foaming nut-brown myths. And then they link nudgers and let forth the stirring refrain as follows. Come, fellows, raise your fumble jugs until your nudgers plunge in. Come, raise aloft your nut-brown splod, for soon we'll all be munging. For tonight I'll drain the posset dry. Every man shall do the same as I. If he don't, I'll wordle in his eye. Tomorrow we'll be grunging. Ooh.
Time again to meet folk singer rambling Syd Rumpo, one of the all-time greats. And I think you'll agree nobody greats like rambling Syd.
Hello, me dearie. Chirrup, chirrup, for the fox be away with the goose and the fly be on the term.
Yes. Well, what can you expect if you leave it out all night? What are you going to sing for us today?
Well, I was rummaging in my ganderbag for a gladsome ditty to bend your ear out with. It's a song of the Royal Scottish Pretender.
Oh, Bonnie Prince Charlie?
No, it's for an old Scotch tramp called McWhirter. He pretended to be Queen Frederica in order to get free orange juice. You can't drink metal polish straight, you know.
No, it does tend to dull the palate, doesn't it?
Yes, quite so. Anyway, we fell to chatting by the wayside, and over a rude meal of hedgehog pate, he sung me it. It tells the story of a simple Highland lass who one day espies a man in a kilt sitting up an oak tree. Hello? Hello, quoth she to herself. That's Bonnie Prince Charlie. See, well, she could tell it wasn't Mary Queen of Scots.
Yes, of course, a different tub.
Yes, quite. So anyway, she takes him in and hides him and gives him sustenance for 3 months. But luck a day, there's a very sorry end to this tale that will wring your withers.
Oh, good. They haven't been wrung for years.
It turns out that he ain't Bolly Prince Charlie after all, but a cabinet maker from Uddersfield called Alf Postlethwaite.
Oh, how tragic.
Yes, and to this very day, almost 6 months later, the Highlanders still sing the Postlethwaite Lament, which goes after this fashion.
Ye maki duna bror mi lamak, a scorpit beastie through the ride. For there's a tatty bogle in me truthock, over the sea, over the sea to sky. Pull away, me sporran. Till the seas run dry.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are to be entertained by one of England's leading folk singers. But first, here is rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie, crying gander, my lummocks. Who'll travel my turve?
Any volunteers? Not a sausage. Now, Rambling Syd, what are you going to burst forth with this week?
It is the tale of a young recruit who's been sprindled in love by a taddlesome maid, and so he rushes off to Brighton to join the army. But alas, he fails the medical on account of flat scropers. So he sings after this fashion. My boglers both have lost their bloom, no wordling do I fancy. My artifacts are bended low since parting with my Nancy. I'll seek no more to grunge my hod, my grummets they do bind me. Oh, how I long to toast my splod with the girl I left behind me. Oh, ne'er shall I forget the day we plighted our cordwangles. And how could I forget the way her bosky mooly dangled? But now I'm bent for Brighton camp. And no one here shall find me. Beneath the pier I'll bend my snod to the girl I left behind me, to the girl I left behind me.
Now we move on to the world of folk music. Sumer is a croomin' in, Lud sing rambling Syd Rumpo.
Well, hello, me dearie, for I'll facet me trusset and wordle me gropes, and if that don't work, I'll poke it down with a stick.
Well, I wouldn't, you know. It might turn nasty if it's disturbed. Now, what ineffable ullage have you got for us this week?
It is a Runcorn Splod Cobblers song, sung by the Splod Cobblers of Runcorn as they pump their cordwangle bellow afore cobbling their splods. It's best to do it in that order. You see, the splod has to be white hot, otherwise it gets the bogle in it, and you can't do nothing with a bogled splod.
No. What exactly is a splod?
A splod is a kind of spottle guard or shreve hoof worn by a Lanarkshire knob tiddler or work goat, as it prefers to be known. Understandable, really, because you'd feel embarrassed, too, if you was called a Lanarkshire knob tiddler.
Yes, yes. You would be wide open to all sorts of curious nicknames.
Precisely, yes. Sometimes I swear he understands every word I say. Now, me dearie-o, as the splod cobbler works his trumpet, he sings this lugubrious ditty. I sing as I cobble and hammer my splod, though my trumpet glows hot and my trade be on. I sit as I gorble and pillock me spleen. For a cobbler's life is the life for me. Sing lickety, lickety, splod me boys. Sing whackety, whackety, ooh.
Well, why the ooh?
Well, that's the sad part of the narrative. Alas, you see, he misses his splod and impales himself on his own cordwangle.
I imagine that could be very painful.
Fatal, as most often. As a result of which he dies lack a day, and they do say as how his ghost walks abroad in a minor key as follows. Now his ghost still sits and cobbles his blood, though his promise grows cold and he's on his tongue. He sings as he gorbles his ghostly spleen. Oh, cobbler's life was the death of me. Sing lickety, lickety, splod me boys. Sing whackety, whackety,
Lord.
Here is a man who's thrown off his trammels. He says they were binding him under the cord wangle. Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearios. Since we last met, I've had a bogle in me ganderbag, and I've come up with this astounding air fit to titillate your lummox.
Oh. Well, my lummox are sort of self-titillating, but thank you for the offer.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, it's a Somerset ditty, and goes after this fashion, sprightly but abysmally. On yonder hill there stands a moolie. What it is I do not know. With my grunge I'll lunge that moolie, lunge it till its nadgers glow. Oh, no, John, no, John, no. Madam, through your fair court wangle, I do see your wogglers show. With this lurker I would trust you. Will you answer yes? And she answers, oh, no, John, no, John, no, John, no. At least not while I'm carving the joint. So he offers her fine things to make her change her mind as follows. I will give you fine plucked grummets, wordle you from head to toe. All I ask is one quick bogle. Fudge my bangers, then I'll... Again, she says, oh, no, John, no, John, no, John, no. So he sings, you've turned down my fine plucked grummets, you've refused to wordle low. Would you spurn my new cord wangle, though it be as pure as snow? And with a tear in her pocket and a lump in her artifacts, she softens and capitulates, singing, oh, yes, John, yes, John, yes, John. Oh.
Many songs have been written about horses. Horsey, keep your tail up. Bless this horse. Horsey, horsey, don't you stop. Don't you ever stop. But, of course, they don't, do they? If they do, it's a sign it's going to rain. No, no. Here now is a man who's a positive storehouse. I think it says storehouse. There's rather a... sort of thick blue line through it. It's difficult to read. A storehouse of ineffable folk songs, the effable rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie-o, for I tether my nadgers to a grouting pole, for the old grey mare is grunging in the meadow.
Yeah. And better there than here.
Precisely. It would only upset the studio manager.
It would indeed. Now, I imagine you're going to sing us a song about a horse.
Yes, 'tis a song about the Somerset Nog.
Nog?
Yes, so called because it's a cross between a nag and a dog.
Ah.
See, it's a half Suffolk punch and half dachshund. It gets very foggy on the moors.
Well, thank you for that piece of country law.
All right. That's all right. My song tells of a man who wants to go to the great fair at Ganderpoke Bog.
Yes.
And so he... you've heard of it, have you? Yeah. And so he asked the farmer, you see, for a loan of the nog, so he can take all his friends with him, and it proceeds in this fashion. Reg pubes, lend me your great nog. Rollock me facet and griddle me nose. Or I want for to go to Ganderpoke bog. With Len Posset, Tim Screevy, the Reverend Phipps, Pegleg Loombucket, Polly Levi, Ginger Epstein, Abel Seaman Truefitt, Scotch Lil, Mrs. Cattermole, Mouse Habit, Neepthigh and Trusspot, Solicitors and Commissioners Brow, Father Thundergast, Fat Alice, Con Mahoney, Yeti Rosenkrantz, Putong Robinson, and Uncle Ted Willis, and Uncle Ted Willis, and all.
It's time again to meet folk singer Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Well, hello, me dearie Aaron. I expect you're dying to know what I've pulled out of me ganderbag this week.
Yes, well, we're all agog. Well, half agog, anyhow.
Half agog. Well, the air with which I'm about to burst forth is traditional in Lincolnshire. It is the song of the bogle clencher and goes after this fashion. When I was a clencher's bogle man in famous Lincoln town, I often clenched me bogling fork for less than half a crown. And I would woggle and irk me boys, as I shall quickly tell. Oh, 'tis mighty light on a shining night and a foggy night as well. Once I took me moolies and set them in a snare. 'Twas then I spied as Froupa's man a wordle in a hair. But I was not afeard, me boys, of that there is no doubt. Out is mighty light on a shining night when the copper's on her bow. Although I'm over 80 now, my boggles still I clench. And I will flutter my artifacts at any passing wench. I've tickled many a scribbling nut as on my way I go. Oh, 'tis mighty light on a shiny night at 1 and 9 a throw.
Here again is that doyen of folk singers, Rambling Syd Rumpo. Now, I believe you're going to sing us a song of the open road.
I am. 'Tis a song I composed myself.
Oh.
And is autobiographical in parts. It tells the story of a carefree life led by the hobo, or as he's known in America, the lower spine. There are 1 or 2 words I ought to explain before I burst forth with my air. For instance, take wogglers.
Well, no, thanks. They don't agree with me.
Now, they're Old English for part of the rabbit and are considered a delicacy by we gentlemen of the road. It's roughly the bit that keeps the pie crust up. So to my song, which tells of the joys of the free gypsy life. Oh, what care I for a goose feather cot, plumpo, plumpo. What care I for a grunge in the pot, a fine fat grammet all piping hot. I'm content with what I've got, for I am old Syd Rumpo. What do I need with dumplings fine, Dumpo, Dumpo? I'm content with a jug of wine, a brace of moolies will suit me fine. On rabbits, wogglers will I dine, for I am old Syd Rumpo. What need I for a scrumptious wife, Scrumpo, Scrumpo? I'm content with the gypsy life, my only friend, my travelling knife. For wedlock only leads to strife, and one day a little Rumpo.
Folk singers are still in, and none more so than our next guest, Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dear ears, and not fast your dando, mate, or hold tight your nadgers.
Yes. I once said it gave me chilblains. I take it you're going to bend our ears with a nautical ditty?
Aye. 'Tis something I picked up in a dockside tavern in Portsmouth. It tells of a mermaid who lures a young sailor lad to his doom with her watery embraces. She be half woman and half fish.
Yes, sounds sort of girl you wouldn't half have fun with.
Precisely. When you've been at sea for days on end, you're not that choosy. 'Tis a sad song and goes after this fashion. 'Twas on the good ship Havercock, and I a midshipmite, when 4 days out of Liverpool a mermaid did I sight, singing fare ye well, my Betty-o, fare ye well, I say. Fare ye well, my pretty young maid, my buttocks be bound away. And the mermaid sings to him in wheedling tones. Come marry me, my pretty lad, and live beneath the willow. A coral reef shall be our bed, an octopus our pillow. Singing fare thee well, my Mary-o, fare thee well to you. Fare thee well, my pretty young lass, my buttocks be rusted through. And seduced by the siren's voice and the fact that he can only see the top half of her sticking up out of the waves, the foolish sailor lad leaps over the side and drowns. And as he goes down for the 3rd time, he sings, fare thee well, my Sally-o, fare thee well, sweetheart. I am no use to you, my love, my buttocks have come apart.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Well, hello, me dearios. The song with which I'm going to tug at your artifacts this week is a tender story of true love and gentle passion with a soupçon of suggestion. It goes after this fashion, lightly but turgidly. In a dingy old bed-sitter to the back of Dolly's Hill lived a Granger, Albert Munger, and his daughter, Spotty Lil. Oh, I loved her for her beauty with a passion so divine, oft admired her through the keyhole, wished that one day she'd be mine. But she loved a used car salesman from the town of Hampton Wick. Burned my glances, my advances, and it cut me to the quick. So I vowed to end my misery, jump into the foaming rill, rid myself of life's encumbrance, not to mention Spotty Lil. Round me neck I tied a millstone with which the miller's corn was ground. I was lucky, found the tide out, or I well might have been drowned. I no longer pine for Lil boys, I have found another mate. All my miseries turned to joy, boys, since I married Spotty Kate, Spotty Kate.
Here now is a man we'd all like to. Well, he'd like to himself, but things being what they are, he's merely going to sing. Rambling Syd Rumpo, whom drobiroids preserve.
Hello, me dearios, and hello, dear. Here is a Sussex air about an old man who plays knick-knacks in various places. And it goes after this fashion, brightly, but with great nerve. This old man, he plays knick-knacks with a hot cross bun. Knick-knack and a back, give a dog a flute. This old man wordles like a newt. Well, they do, you know, when they get to a certain age. But what the eye don't see, the art don't grieve her. This old man, he plays too. He plays knick-knacks up the flue. Knick-knack and a back, give a dog a chop. The old man nudges round the clock. Picturesque, isn't it? This old man, he plays three. He plays knick-knacks for a fee. Knick-knack and a back, give a dog a punch. The old man grunges after lunch. Why do you do 10 to after every meal? This old man, he plays four. He plays knick-knacks till he's sore. Knick-knack and a back, give a dog a kick. The old man bogles with a pick. Thank you. I won't weary you with verses 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Suffice it to say that each verse gets more ethnic. Among other things. But eventually comes verse 10. This old man, he plays 10. See him trundling up Big Ben. Knick-knack and a back, give a dog a bone. If you want any more, you can woggle your own. Woggle your own.
It's time again to meet folk singer Rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie, sing Bogle Titwillow and Lack a Day for the Fly be on the Termite.
Yes. And now you're a great exponent of the art of folk singing. Now, what are you going to give us this week?
It is a taddle groper's dance sung by the villagers of Musgrove Parver, and it heralds the coming of the Oak Apple Fairy, or Sanitary Inspector, as he is known in they parts. The taddle gropers grope around while the turve maiden merrily whirls her splod. And they dance to a roundelay that goes after this fashion. There's cordwangles in me posset bag. What shall I do, my Mary-O? And I can't woggle my artifacts. What shall I do, my darling? So the turve maiden sings back. Stove it with a gander hook, that's what you do, my Billy-O. Then you can wobble your artifacts as good as new, my darling. So he stoves it with a gander hook, but it don't do no good as he's forgot to put antifreeze in. So plaintively he sings to her. I stoved it in with a gander hook, that's what I done, my Mary-O. But now I've nudged me artifacts, what shall I do, my darling? And so she tells him what to do with his artifacts. And he does it, and then they dance off, woggling and groping their taddles to the following refrain. Billy Cock, oh me Billy Cock, oh who will nadger me dander? Boggle me loomer, me jolly boys, and posit me splee in the morning.
now we step into the twilight zone to meet rambling Syd Rumpo.
Hello, me dearie.
Now, what many splendid thing have you brought for our delectation this week?
I feel I can truly say that the song I am about to fuddle your wits with is without doubt the most lacklustre piece of tawdry effluence with which I've ever strained my adenoids.
I see, yes. One of your better efforts.
Yes, precisely. Its burden, and I use the word advisedly, is of a lugubrious nature and goes after this fashion briskly, but furtively. 'Twas on a Monday morning, just as the day was dawning, my sweetheart stood a-yawning beneath the holly tree. Her artifacts were woggling. No wonder I stood ogling as she whirled away with her looming fork and grundled away with her grouting cork until I spilled my tea. 'Twas on a Tuesday morning, she stood beneath the awning, her posset she was pouring for 25 and 3. Her cordwangle was chilly, oh, so she upped on it like Billy-O. As she traddled away at her fumble jug and nudged away at her grumble mug, 'twas worth a trip to see. 'Twas on a Wednesday morning, the landlord came a-fawning without a proper warning to ask her for a fee. It seemed she had to pay a fine for hanging moolies on the line and tattling notes on the Queen's Highway and gathering groats on the 1st of May, although she did it for free.